Hey everyone, welcome back to I've Been There, the podcast where we keep it real, raw, and all about empowering you through life's ups and downs. I'm Shelby Ray, and today we're talking about something that I know many of us struggle with, and that's letting go. Whether it's a toxic relationship, a friendship that's faded, or a job that just no longer fulfills you, or even an old version of yourself that you're clinging on to, letting go is one of the hardest but most freeing things we can do. And trust me, I've been there. I'll never forget the moment I realized I had to let go of something I was holding on to for dear life. Something that was keeping me stuck, but I was too scared to release it. I'll share that story in a minute, but first, how do you even know when it's time to let go? Sometimes we hold on for so long that we don't even realize we're carrying that dead weight. Here's a few signs that show you that it's time to move on, that you're carrying on to that dead weight. If you feel exhausted, anxious, or weighed down every time you think about that person, that situation, or that job, that's a big sign. Have you ever told yourself, it's not that bad, maybe it'll change? That's your gut talking, and we have to start listening. You don't even recognize yourself anymore, and this one hit hard. When I realized I was holding on to something that was changing me into someone I didn't even like anymore, that one hit, and it hit me in the gut. So for me, this really did hit home with my fourth marriage. Yep, number 4. If you're new to my podcast, hi, I've been married 4 times. So number 4 really, it took a toll on me. It took a toll on my life in general. And I just kept telling myself that if I just tried harder, it would get better. But the truth was, it was never going to get better. It was never going to change. And I was the only one suffering. Let's get real, though. Letting go isn't easy. If it were, we'd all be walking around completely free and unbothered, right? But the reason we hold on so tightly is because of fear. Fear of change, fear of the unknown, fear of being alone, and sometimes fear of admitting that we wasted time on something that wasn't even meant for us. Just because something once made you happy doesn't mean it still belongs in your life. We trick ourselves into thinking that if we hold on, we'll somehow control the outcome. But the only thing we're doing is delaying our peace. And freedom comes when we release that weight. The moment I finally let go of that marriage, I physically felt lighter. I didn't even realize how much energy I was spending just holding on. That marriage drained me like no other. And I knew it early on, but again, it was number 4. And even though I knew it early on, I told myself I was going to give it all I could. I was going to do everything I didn't do in all the other relationships. I was going to do everything I could to make it better. I was going to change myself, and then I was going to help change him. And then we were going to change our house, and then we were going to change the cars, and then we were going to change all this stuff. And all the changes that were being made never changed the core of the situation, which was I should have never been in that marriage. At the time that I found that marriage, I was looking for somebody to save me. There was a lot going on in my life. Again, I had already been married 3 other times. Now, 2 of those were to the same man. That's another story for another podcast. That's kind of a fun one. But you get in this rut, in this stickiness, and these situations where you feel like you can't get out of. But this other person fills these little bitty voids that make you feel better for a very short period of time. But that feeling of better, even if it's a short period of time, is really what you need at that moment. So you kind of get into this fog, right? That this fog is going to be so good that it's me. It's not them. It's me. I'm sad. I'm depressed. I'm lonely. I need to be better, right? So I keep telling me all of these things, and deep down, it's not working. Deep down, you probably shouldn't have done whatever you did, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a friendship, whether it's changing jobs. I've even changed jobs and thought, oh, that was the biggest mistake I ever made. Why did I even do that? I did it because I had a bad day, right? I did it because I had a bad situation and I was like, this is it. It's the job. It's got to be that. If I change jobs, if I do something different, it'll make it all better. And what you don't do is get down to the core of what the problem is. And that 4th marriage just about drained me emotionally, physically, mentally, everything to the deepest depths of hell. I had never been so miserable in my life. And I went to work every day and I put a smile on my face every day. And I went to every ball game for my kid, and I went to every function for my child, and I went to all these things, and I dressed up and I looked really pretty and I put a smile on, and I was absolutely miserable. And I don't know why, as women, we don't cut that off sooner than when we do, because we've all done it. We wait and wait and wait and wait, and we're like, and then when you look back, you're like, why did I do that? That was dumb. I knew it 5 years ago, but I stuck with it, right? And so that is what hurts the most. And the other side of that is if I told anyone, especially myself, that this has ended, right? I need to end this. I need to just cut this off right now. Well, that means I failed again. The 4th marriage has now failed. And so when I thought of those words, the very first thing that popped in my mind was, what's wrong with you? Meaning me. So then we stick it out a little longer because, it's got to be me. My Lord, it's been 4 times. It's got to be me. And it is, to a degree. The problem is that you dwell on the fact that it's you, and you dwell on that word, failure. I did make some poor choices, but the biggest mistake I made was staying as long as I did. The biggest mistake was staying and then not saying, okay, I have failed at this. Let's stop it now and regroup and take the steps necessary to move forward. And not necessarily in another relationship, not necessarily in anything else. I needed to fix me at that point. But there was no way to fix me without getting out of that situation. So no matter what situation you are in, the job, the relationship, the friendship, whatever that is, you've got to remove yourself from that negativity. You have to remove yourself from that toxic environment in order to heal yourself. You can't heal inside of it. That's already a proven thing. I knew it was not working out. I knew it was wrong, and I stayed, and I just stayed in misery. There was no way to fix it while I was still there. So now that we know that it's time to let go, and now we know it's so dang hard, now we have to figure out how we actually do it. And I'm all about taking real practical steps. So here are some things that helped me, and I know that can help you too. Okay, so you have to, the first thing in all of the things that we do is acceptance, right? You don't have to like it, but you do have to accept that this situation is no longer serving you, which means it's no longer serving your children, which means it's no longer serving your family, which means it's no longer serving the people you are taking care of at your job, your home, your friendships, none of that, okay? You're not serving anyone because you're living in misery. The second thing we're going to do is we have to forgive. Forgiveness is a hard one. I think it's the hardest personally, but this isn't about excusing bad behavior. This is about setting yourself free. Forgiveness is not about letting that other person off the hook. Forgiveness is letting yourself off the hook. Forgiveness is you failed at something, but you are not a failure. Let me say that again. You've failed at something, but you are not a failure. This is where reframing your mindset comes in. Instead of seeing it as a loss, we have to look at it as making space for something better. And now we have to take action. Journaling is my number one action. Writing down what you're letting go of and why. And this is where journaling is, you just take a pen and paper and you just write down thoughts that come out of your brain. They don't have to be complete sentences. They don't even have to make sense when you read them back. You just get those words out of your brain and down on paper. And when you get it down on paper and it's in black and white, that's when you can start putting the pieces back together, because it's basically a jigsaw puzzle in your mind that's all scrambled up, and you got to put these pieces back together and make the picture really pretty again. So then we're going to have to set our new goals. Focus on what's ahead instead of what is behind you. Focus on the goals of what you want to achieve. I don't want to be anxious. I want to get rid of my anxiety. I want to be happy. I want to wake up and get out of the bed. I don't want to sleep 24 hours a day. I don't want to sit in the dark all the time. My goal is to get up and see the sunset, or see the sunrise and see the sunset. But to see that sunshine and feel the warmth of that and feel good about it. I want to get rid of my depression. I want to get rid of what weighs me down. And the last thing I think you need to do is surround yourself with the right people. People who push you forward and not pull you back. We all have those friends that probably mean well, but you know those friends that you have that you're like, they're always kind of agreeing with you, but they don't give you any positive reinforcement. They don't help you get through it. They just kind of go, yep, he was not good for you, girl. Yes, I agree with that. Oh, yeah, he did this, he did that. Yes, yes, yes. That's not who you need to surround yourself with. You need to surround yourself with those people that will hold your hand and walk you outside into the sunshine and just stand there and hold your hand and not say a word and just soak up the sunshine. Those are the people that you need. Those are the people that will give you positive affirmations. Those are the people that will bring you to a positive atmosphere. Those are the people you need to surround yourself with. So for me, the hardest thing I ever had to do was let go of that fourth marriage. I held on because I thought I had to. I didn't want to be a failure anymore. And I was so scared of what life would look like without it. But the moment I finally realized it and released it, there was so much relief and peace. It is so hard to describe. And I realized that I had been holding myself back from something so much better all along. If you're listening this right now and something immediately came to mind, that's your sign. That's your sign that you need to let it go. That's your gut telling you that it's time and that it's okay. And listen to me when I say you deserve peace more than you deserve to hold on to something that hurts. Woo, this was a deep one today. But I hope it resonated with you, and I hope you're ready to let go of something that's weighing you down. And I want to hear about it. Send me a message or share it in the comments or write it down for yourself and take that first step. I know it's going to make you feel so much better, and it's going to empower you like you would never believe. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share this with a friend who might need to hear it. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. And never forget, you are strong